Hello there. Tonight's shave is going to be very different because I'm going to try something that I've never tried before and that a lot of people say is not possible. I'm going to show you my brush first. This is my Jon Michaud. John's brush. It's got a 22 millimeter 3-band badger in it. Fantastic, not fantastic brush. I'm going to sit that and let that soak for a while I talk for a minute. I have a subscriber and a viewer that has been a part of my channel from almost the very beginning. Probably from the very first video that I did, he was watching. I did not know at first. You know, you start a YouTube channel, you don't know if you're going to get any views or anything like that. But shortly after I started, he started contacting me and started sending me things. And the thing of it is back then when I first started, I had like a Vanderhagen Boar, Vanderhagen bowl, the little blue bowl with the green inside. Excuse me. And, you know, Vanderhagen soap and maybe Real Shave Cream or Bigelow, C.O. Bigelow that I could get locally. I didn't have much of anything. And he started sending me stuff and he would say stuff like, well, this is a product that I really love and I think is, you know, it's superior and things of that nature. And that was a genuine part of it, is that he, for whatever reason, saw something in me, maybe an eagerness or an enthusiasm, or I don't know, but that he wanted to nurture. He became a mentor in traditional shaving for me, and he's a mentor for a whole lot of other people as well. But he would keep sending me stuff. He even encouraged other people to send me stuff. You know, because he was one of these guys that people would contact and say, hey man, you know, I really would like to gift this here to somebody, but I really don't know where to go. He would point them toward me a lot of the times. I'm sure he pointed them to other people too, but he pointed them toward me. And if it wasn't for him, the beginnings of my channel and much of what came before would be incredibly poor. Because YouTube, you know, one of the big things is, you know, you have to have content to create videos, and I didn't have very much then, and financially, you know, I can't like go out and buy the latest and greatest that comes out and stuff like that. I have relied heavily and never been disappointed in my viewers and my subscribers. They have been incredibly generous through the years, and a lot of 80%, 90% of what you see on this channel is because someone sent me something and I reviewed it, or I shaved with it, or if it's sharpening, I sharpened with it or on it, or I sharpened it, or whatever, you know. And it, you know, that is how this channel continues, because otherwise I would not be able to bring content to people. But he was there at the very beginning. He was the first one to reach out and do that. And so over the years, he's become more than a viewer and a subscriber. He's someone that I consider an incredibly good friend, and someone that I am incredibly honored to know. Okay, just as a man, he's just an incredible man. But anyway, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up his rear end or anything like that. I'm just explaining to you, you know, I'm not going to say his name because he wouldn't want me to. But I'm not puffing this guy up to you. I'm just telling you honestly, you know, what he means to me and what he has meant to this channel. And so he watches my videos on a particular shaving group on Facebook. That is a group that was started from a forum that he was a moderator on, and a super moderator, they called him, for many, many years. From, I think, the founding of that forum, and that's where I met him, was on that forum. And so that's where he pretty much resides on Facebook when he goes looking for things shaving, and I post on that forum. And I don't know what he saw in the video, because to me it was just a basic ordinary shave, But he made a remark. He said, "I am beginning to think that you could shave with a sharp knife." You have to excuse me. My nose is running like crazy. Like I said, my allergies are terrible. But that got me thinking. And understand, this video, it's not about, wow, look at me, look how skilled I am, I can shave with a knife. Or look how skilled I am, I can hone a knife so that you can shave with it. Or anything of the sort. And this might fail miserably as well. But if you've watched my channel long enough, you understand that a lot of times I tend to question prevailing wisdom when it comes to shaving or anything else that I do here on this channel. I have a habit of saying, is that really true? So the conventional wisdom is that you cannot shave with a knife because you can't get the right kind of edge on it. The geometry and the edge geometry on a knife is not conducive to it. Yeah, you can get, you can't get a shaving sharp, as in I can truly have a shave ready edge, which is different from, shaving the hair off your arm, or even you can get a knife sharp enough to whittle hair and stuff like that. You can make a knife past HHT and all kind of stuff. That does not mean when you put that knife to your face that the shave is going to be comfortable enough that you're going to want to shave with it. Okay, so I don't know whether the old timers, because we learned from the old timers. I learned from the old timers. I learned on the backs of men that came before me and learned to hone straight razors, and their information and their knowledge became a part of me and a part of my understanding. And without men like that came before me, I'd still be trying to figure out how to put an edge on a straight razor, okay? So, but conventional wisdom, as long as I can remember, is you can't shave with a knife. And I began to wonder, has anyone truly that has a good grasp of straight razor honing, anybody that might be considered professional, and I'm not saying that I am, but anybody with good experience, has anybody really tried that, or did they try it when they were inexperienced and conclude from that, that it can't be done? I don't know. I'm going to find out. Okay? We're going to find out. They talk about edge geometry, and that edge geometry is not the same. A knife has a much more shallower, or much more obtuse, I guess, or fatter bevel. It's thicker and everything than a straight razor does. A straight razor's bevel is very, very thin. Ultra thin, which is why you can get the kind of edge you can get on it. And I thought, what? You can thin out the bevel of a knife. I don't have to hone this knife at 25 degrees or 22 and a half or 20, or I can lay it back. And so what I've done, I've taken this knife, and you can see this is a Schrade old timer. This is a modern Schrade old timer. It is a Chinese made knife, and it has nothing to do with your grandfather's Schrade, the ones that I love, the American made Schrade that's no longer in business. The steel on this knife is 7CR 17 MOV. Okay, it has 0.7% carbon content. On its best day, you probably get 56 Rockwell out of this blade. I have no idea what the Rockwell hardness of this blade is. Okay. Now, will this steel hold? Well, the first question I had was, can I even bring it to the proper refinement? Because the thing of it is trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it in like razor-shaped objects that people buy on eBay, you know, for $30, and oh, this is Damascus steel, or $50 or whatever, and they send it to me because they posted on the forum and they said I can't get it sharp and it's not working, and I said, you know, that's junk steel basically, but if you send it to me, I'll try. And what happens most of the time is a lot of steels just can't deal with the refinement that's required to put a true shaving edge. And what will happen is once you reach a certain level of refinement, usually around 4K, 8K at the outside, the steel begins to just crumble at the edge. A lot of times with the cheaper stuff that I'm talking about, once you go past about 1,000, you know, at the widest outside, it'll start doing that. And a lot of times, a long time before that. So I have no idea, or I had no idea whether I could even bring this up to the refinement necessary. But I chose this knife because I'm not going to take a knife, like a $100 knife, you know, a knife with really high quality steel, and lay a bevel back on it like that. That ain't happening. Okay? If this knife is ruined, it's cheap, it's readily available. I have not done anything but ruin a Chinese knife. Okay? And so that's one. That's one reason I chose it. And the other reason is it's a really basic kind of soft steel, and I know the Sheffields were fairly soft, and so, but they hold a good edge and all. So we're gonna see if if I can even shave with this. I took this through 1K, 4K, 8K, 12K, and then I did 15 passes on a razor quality chromium oxide pasted strop, 50 laps on cloth, and 70 on leather. And we're going to see. So if you've stuck around this long, let's see if we can shave with a knife. So the soap that we have tonight is Razor Rock's American Barber. I chose Razor Rock because it's a good basic soap, and it has good slickness. Almost any Razor Rock soap that you come across will have good slickness to it. And I wanted something that was slick, but once again, I'm not trying to use high dollar stuff or anything like that. This is for the basic working man, and the stuff that he might have in his possession. Can you shave with a knife? So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna hold on, I'm rinsing off the soap. Now I'm gonna wet my face. Let's lather up. And I'm feeling kind of funny. I don't know what it is. It might be my sugar. I'm just warning you. I might end up cutting this video off. So there might be like a split in the middle or something like that. Because holding a... And then I'll have to splice them together. Because holding a razor sharp object in your hand and sugar dropping is not wise. And so if I feel at any point that whatever way that I'm feeling right now means something like that, and that I'm in danger, we'll just have to make this we'll have to do some editing. So anyway, Also, one of the things that I wonder is, can I hold this properly? It's not a razor. So we're going to find out. It's not super smooth. About like a cuticle edge so far. But now this steel might not hold an edge. I cannot, and I've got like 5 days growth. I cannot make long pulls with it, or it will tug. Also, I chose this knife for another reason. It has a really long spade blade with a straight edge, close enough to a straight, I think, for me. But so far, fairly comfortable, and it's cutting halfway decent. But it is not a straight razor. But you see, I don't know what the there. That little negotiation was tricky. It is pulling much more than a straight razor would in the same situation. Most straight razors, if you got the edge right, they're not going to pull at all. You might get a little bit of sting on the neck depending on how sensitive your neck is. You get that with a feather blade and a DE. That's not particularly close. That's the first pass. I do not know if I'm going to be capable of doing it against the grain. That's, you see, not very great. You see, it's missed along the neck. So, let's see what we can do, if we can do an against the grain pass with a knife. And once again, this is not clickbait. This is not look how great I am or anything of the sort. It's just, can it be done? Because everybody says it can. And what I'm pretty much concluding from this, I'll let you know in the end, but I pretty much have the answer to why they say you can't do it. But I am shaving. It's definitely subpar as far as the results are coming so far, but you realize that traditional shaving is beard reduction. So let's see. Well, that's way, way smooth on the upstroke. Lovely. That I thought that this would be bad, but that right there is smooth as any straight razor I ever shaved with. That's not half bad, gents. At all. I don't know what the deal is. Or why. But against the grain, it's wonderfully smooth. And right there's the answer. If you watch back the video, you'll see my angle was too steep. So the first pass might have been much smoother than what I got. That's what did it. Yes, it was the angle because, see hold on. My against the grain angle is always, and I can't get in here because I use the heel there and this is stopping me. But I always use a much steeper angle when I do against the grain passes. That actually, for not being a razor, even some razors that I have shaved with, that's a pretty good shave for a knife. Okay, I have a tiny little weeper there. I'm going to take care of that. So what do I think? Well, it's definitely possible. And if I had better steel and had better control of my angle, and or, because I believe if I shave straight down, my first pass, if I had used the proper angle, it would have been much smoother. But you also have to consider that that first pass, I had 5 days growth on. That second pass, the beard was greatly reduced. So that is a part of the equation as well. That's fantastic. That's a fantastic shave for what I used. So what do I think? Can you shave with a knife? Yeah, you can. If you change the bevel angle and stuff to thin it out, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I wasn't even going to shave with even attempt to shave with a 22 degree bevel. So, but anyway, can you do that? Yeah. So why do the old timers say you can't? Well, they might have tried it with a conventional knife bevel. Stand by for a minute. All right, I'm back. I could hear my wife's chair at the door to the bedroom, and I was trying to make sure she didn't need anything. Where was I? Maybe they tried using the conventional knife bevel instead of thinning the blade out like I did, the bevel out. Maybe they aren't as good as I am. I doubt that. Or maybe, they, like I said, they tried early on and it didn't work, so they abandoned the idea. Or this is what I think is more likely. Yes, you can shave with a knife if you get an edge on it. But it's a knife, people. It's not a straight razor. It's awkward. It doesn't fit your face like a straight razor does. This blade is flipping way over 3. It's like 3 1/4 inches long. Most straight razors are 3 inches or a little bit shorter. Okay. It's difficult to keep the angle. There's 1,000 different reasons, if I sat here long enough, that I could come up with to say that that's really subpar no matter what you do with it, as regards trying to shave your face with it. Okay. Knives are for cutting other things, not the hair on your face. Can you do it? Yeah. But I don't recommend it. You won't ever see me do it again. I did this to figure out whether what I was taught was right. And whether or not the old fellas are saying you can't. See, a lot of times they won't get, if you've got a lot of knowledge about something and someone comes to you for advice, many times, instead of going through this big long spiel about why it's not a good idea, a lot of guys will just say, no, that's not a good idea. Okay? Because they don't want to. The guy's not interested in all the different explanations anyway. He just wants to know, can you do it? And the guy might not have enough time to go into an in-depth explanation or anything of the sort. And he just says, look, the geometry of them are completely different, and yada, yada, yada. So that might be where the you can't do it comes from. But what I would tell you is you shouldn't. There's no need for it. A traditional straight razor, even a cheap one like this that has good steel in it, will give you much better service. So, can you shave with a knife? Yeah. Bless you, and I'll talk to you later.